The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, circa 180 AD. Welcome to the Free Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Our passion is people, and the next 30 minutes is going to change the next 30 years of your life.
Let's go. I got big dreams, I'ma do big things. Yeah, you see me on the big screen looking so clean. I don't move slow, I move fast, right past anybody taking life for granted, yeah, that's too bad. I'd be grateful for everything that I have. You only got this life, you don't get it back. Make the most of it, become the best that I can. Everybody look at me, I got a plan. You gotta work hard,
Hello,
play hard.
everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you had a terrible day today.
Wait, that's backwards. No.
Why are we contradicting ourselves?
It's a work in progress, okay?
Welcome, Swans. We're glad to have you back today. We missed you. We hope you're having a wonderful day. It's beautiful.
I know I'm having a wonderful day.
I'm having a pretty wonderful day. You having a pretty wonderful day, Oni?
The gates of hell is open.
So does that mean it's a good day or a bad day? I don't know.
Well, I mean, if he's still soul searching, that must be a good day.
Me and Eduardo are fighting demons with a bucket of chicken.
Do demons even like fried chicken? Is that a thing?
I don't think so.
I'm going to tell you, nobody likes chicken. So, yes, we are using it as weapons.
I like chicken. It's good. Chicken grease is good.
What's wrong with you?
so chicken is demonic. Is that what we've concluded?
You heard it here first, folks.
No, I'm just saying. Nobody likes chicken, so I'm using it as a weapon.
Not even
Me
demons.
and Eduardo.
Like, it's greasy, but it's good.
Yeah, I know. You get a Popeyes biscuit, boy. You better have CPR ready.
You better have like a bucket of water.
I'll
to
send it
I
stick
to
can
your
you.
use
face in.
Popeyes biscuit as ammunition.
We should go buy biscuits and we'll have a competition and see who can eat the most without choking and dying.
I'm down.
Last one living wins.
We gotta weed them out. That's the qualifier.
That's horrible. Who are we weeding out? It's each other. We love each
So here's the
other.
deal. If you want to be in my army of chicken, you have to be able to eat at least 4 Popeyes biscuits without water.
Oh, Lord. Last episode, guys, we got pretty deep into identity. We talked about how you unlock self-control, hitting the checklist, achieving purity and solitary sufficiency. We talked about what women should really be working on as a woman to really figure out who they are as a woman, and that's being a mature chick. So physically being healthy, learning life skills. She's working on having healthy relationships in her life so that her mental health is good. She's working on her self-esteem and what her mindset is about herself. And spiritually, she's working on doing all the healthy things, so she's being proficient, being a healthy amplifier, and developing her nurturing nature. We're going to start off today talking about what identity is not. One thing identity definitely is not is anything you have to tell anybody. If you're having to tell people who you are or what you are, that's try hard.
So who am
Hi,
I?
I'm Ani.
I'm Todd.
And try hard is not true.
So I'm not an a-hole then.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's admitting you have a problem. That's a little bit different.
That's talking about yourself.
Yeah, you're not telling anybody. You're telling yourself. Yes, you're an a-hole.
I never made it that far in AA.
No, you're supposed to admit the nature of your wrongs. So step 5, admitting our wrongs.
I full-heartedly admit that I am an a-hole to everybody, and I hurt their feelings. And sometimes I have these violent acts that cause injuries. So
I swear they are, man.
that's why AA is for quitters.
Yeah, no kidding. You don't have to tell your identity to anybody. If you know who you are, people will see who you are by the way you conduct yourself and the way you live your life. Everybody knows this guy. You always run into him and he starts telling you about all these wonderful things he has or all these awesome things he's doing.
I rescued a dog from a burning building, and that burning building was an orphanage.
Well,
Because I'm
nowadays
so
they
cool
don't
and awesome.
talk. They put it on social media, so you gotta add
Oh,
that
yeah.
because it's
Well,
for the young
social
folks.
media is the next one. Social media is not your identity either. Social media is imaginary.
Influencers out there making your life
Bro,
tic-tac. Half of y'all
people-
need a tic-tac. I'm just saying.
Let me ask a serious question. Why do people point at the words on the screen? I don't understand that. It's like I'm making a video and they're waving their finger around like it's a tornado. I don't know what they're doing.
Well, I can sum it up in one word. Up syndrome.
Is up syndrome not 2 words?
Is that why they're pointing up?
Oh my goodness.
Is that
Oh
like the national symbol?
We
for I
just
have
made
up
a
syndrome?
breakthrough.
This evening, there's been a breakthrough.
Think about that. If your identity is wrapped up in social social media, if that's who you think you are, if you think your purpose is to do something on social media, it's not real, bro. Your purpose is not going to be to do anything on social media. That's like Todd's hairstyle. It's nothing. You could just cut it off and it doesn't exist anymore.
You're right. You're right.
It's not real though. Like if you could delete it, if you could throw it away, it's not real. I don't care who it is or why it is. If you find your identity on social media, you're lying to yourself. All right, speaking of gay, that's next. Sexuality. Sexuality is not your identity. If you believe...
JJ,
Look.
I am a XTZPG.
Are we saying all the alphabets?
Having an identity crisis.
That's what I think is interesting when people ask the question, what do you identify as? It's not so much a choice as it is a discovery. You find your purpose.
I identify as a gorilla.
Yes, because you are a gorilla. But you find your identity within your purpose. It's something you discover. When you find your purpose in life, when you figure out what you're created for, you discover your identity within that. And it's something you live, it's something you embody, it's something you take on. It's not something you just make up. You don't get to just arbitrarily decide, I'm an astronaut. Well, how many rocket ships have you been on and how many times have you been to the moon? Well, none, because nobody's been to the moon. There will be no conspiracy theory.
I'm a social media influencer. I've pointed at 0 words.
Yeah, I mean, if you're pointing at words, telling the world you have up syndrome, that's not it. In sexuality, there's something important to understand here. We need to understand the difference between fulfillment and desperation. Fulfillment is when you are getting the positive from things you're doing. Desperation is when you're in a state of deficiency and you're grabbing onto those unhealthy things. The more you pursue the unhealthy things, the more desperate you become. And the more desperate you become, the more you pursue the unhealthy things.
And I'm like, man, I really like this hole. I'm going to keep digging this hole. And the more I dig the hole, it's like I'm getting better equipment. I go from a shovel to an excavator.
The more deficient you get, the bigger the hole you dig. And the more desperate you get for real fulfillment, for the good stuff, the more extremes you're willing to go to. Like I knew a girl that was a good mom with 3 kids, and somehow she ended up literally a crack prostitute in the back of a trap house and abandoned her kids. How do you get there? How do you get to that point? People always, I don't know how somebody could do these things. Well, if you've never been desperate, you don't understand. But that's what you end up with. Instead of fulfillment, you end up with desperation. And desperation is this hollow emptiness that you find yourself with. The more you feed the unhealthy, the more deficient you get and the more desperate you become. So desperation is the opposite of fulfillment. Well, it works the same way on the positive side. That's why it's so critical just to pick one healthy thing. Just focus on the healthy. Keep going. The more you pursue the healthy things, the more it builds fulfillment. The easier it becomes to pursue healthy things, the more fulfillment you find. So the cycle works both ways. And the further you get on the spectrum, you get to a place on the negative side where you really need somebody to grab a hold of you and pull you out. And that's where we come together as a community, because when you find somebody that's in desperation, they don't need judgment. They don't need condemnation. They don't need you telling them everything that's wrong with their life. They know everything that's wrong. They're living it. They need you to put a hand on their back and say, it's okay. I love you. I got you. What can I do to help? They need a little bit of compassion. And that's where the purpose comes in, because it's driven by the compassion.
You know what else? My soulless pit.
What do you mean your soulless pit? Oh, dark. I sentence you to 3 Popeyes biscuits, no drink.
Bad talk.
I didn't do anything wrong. I'd like to thank my mom.
Yeah,
I'd like to speak to my lawyer.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
man. One time I knew this kid, right? He got hooked on Popeye biscuits.
Is he that troll that keeps asking me riddles?
I don't know where you're going with this.
Something critical to understand. DNA.
It's like my bloodline?
No, your DNA is either going to be an XX or an XY chromosome. No matter what you try to do, you cannot change whether you are a generator or an amplifier. If you got an XX and you're trying to be a generator, you're going to spend your whole life spinning your wheels.
So
if you got an XY, then you're spending your life trying to be an amplifier, trying to embody the feminine. You could take that on. You could do that. Nobody's going to stop you. But you're never going to have that fulfillment that you're really missing. And all you're doing is you're feeding the deficiency. You're getting more and more desperate to the point you don't know who you are anymore. And no matter what you try to pretend your identity is or is not, your DNA dictates all of reality. We'll get deeper into it later. What else identity is not? Your identity is not your job.
Jay, hold up,
But I'm a
Jay?
top tier lawyer.
I work 70 hours a week, man. And, I make all this money, dog.
What do you do with it?
I am an engineer. That is who I am.
Well, if you invest all your time and your energy into that, that does become who you are. Just like we were talking about being a top G or a boss babe, you can do that. You can invest yourself in anything you want. You could pretend your identity is anything you want to invest yourself in, but at the end of the day, you're not going to find that fulfillment that you're really after.
You're telling me I'm not happy working 70 hours a week?
Is anybody?
Look at all that moolah I'm making, dog.
But what are you doing with the moolah if you have nobody to share it with and enjoy it with?
Well, I'm spending it on the place I'm staying so I can work 70 hours a week.
I
Make
guess.
more
And all
money.
these chicks that are coming on my yacht, man.
I guess.
When do you get time to be on your yacht?
Take vacation once a year, bro. Chill out.
Napoleon Hill referenced this in Think and Grow Rich. He said even the wealthiest...
Napoleon was short.
No, that's the wrong Napoleon. Napoleon Hill, not Napoleon Bonaparte.
My man.
He said even the wealthiest of men would find no motivation in pursuing that wealth if they had nobody to share it with. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world if it costs him his soul? Fulfillment is the point.
Hey, baby, I got your biscuits. Don't deserve it. Hey.
That's not where I thought that was going. Let me ask you a serious question. How many biscuits can Eduardo eat without water?
Eduardo scarf him down, my dog. He at least do a whole box, bro.
A whole
six.
box?
So
Oh
like
my
6 of them.
Lord.
Yeah.
No drink.
He's
No
a savage,
drink.
bro. Demon chicken, sex, money, murder.
What? No,
I'm more
not
like
that.
I like sex, drugs, and rock and roll more. What's yours?
What's my what? I didn't know there was a question. What is the question? I'm lost. Peep, peep. Eduardo, give me a biscuit
Peep.
so I can choke and
Peep.
die instead of listening to this crazy.
I can't take myself seriously.
I'm finna take Eduardo out the back seat, put him in a FedEx box, and I'm mailing him to your house.
Oh, gosh.
Over a biscuit?
Heck no, Eduardo gonna come out the box eating biscuits, staring you down with hate and contempt in his eyes.
He does that anyway.
And with a mouthful of biscuits, like cheeks puffed out. Peep, peep.
He might even use one of them biscuits as a ninja star. So you better look out.
Yeah.
I love my job because I bring smiles to people.
But that's what happens, especially with a lot of guys. They think that their job is who they are.
Yeah. I see a lot of them where they would rather be at work than spend time with their family. And their only excuse is, well, somebody's got to make the money. Somebody's got to pay for this. I'm like, bro, your kids graduate. And then they use it as a crutch. Well, man, I ain't never got time for my family. I got to work all the time.
They
It's a
also use it
cop-out.
as something to hang over your head. Well, I'll put this roof over your head.
Oh, yeah, men are terrible about
Yeah.
that. I'll pay the bills around here. What do? You better cook and clean.
Go make me a sandwich.
Shut up, Todd.
I tried to sneak one in there.
Yeah. But that's a cop-out, though. And a lot of people, instead of finding their purpose and their true identity within that purpose, the thing they were created for, they cop out and say, oh, I got this job. Somebody's got to make it happen. And that's existing on the competitive plane instead of the creative plane that we talked about before. You see it in real life every day. Everybody knows that guy. Don't be that guy. And unfortunately, we see women get stuck in this scenario all the time. They want to be supportive. They want to be good to their partner, and they want to treat them with respect, and they want to invest in what they have going on. But if he's made his identity his job, that's not it, bro. She doesn't have that piece of identity that she's really missing, that he's supposed to give her. She's left without the real fulfillment that she really wants, and everybody ends up deficient. Everybody ends up unhappy.
And then you have the opposite end of the scale where instead of investing all their time into work, they invest it into their woman, and their woman becomes their identity.
Can't go nowhere without her.
That's the next thing your identity is not, is people. Unhealthy relationships. And just like Todd said, people will put a woman on a pedestal and they make her the purpose instead of their purpose. If your purpose in life is to try to make your woman happy, that whole happy wife, happy life garbage,
Nobody wants that, bro.
that's concession, not leading the dynamic. And women want to be led. We are not here to appease anyone. But if you're not worth following, everybody loses, especially your wife.
Yeah, we're the He-Man Woman Hater Club.
No, we are not. We love women.
Shiny.
Oh, gosh. Yes, exactly.
No, but I see it, especially with my age group.
We see guys making their girl their purpose in life. And 100% of the time, women will lose attraction because they know that's not where they belong.
Party time! It's time to party. Now we gonna get our groove on.
Oh, we're going to play a little music, give everybody a little break?
I'm down.
I don't think anybody wants to see you
I challenge you
dancing.
to a dance battle, Oni.
Oh, no, not only dance battle. We'll be right back, guys.
We're back from the music break.
Welcome back, guys.
Only gave me a run for my money, man.
That was a crazy dance battle. A whole lot of ogre moving around you don't want to see, folks. Like a ping pong ball bouncing around on the dance floor. Oh, ball head. His face does look a little sour. I'll just say it.
No lemon drop head.
Say my name.
Well, we hope you guys are having a wonderful whatever you're doing. At your office, having a productive day at work, or maybe you're on a nice drive getting somewhere right now, you know, thinking about something delicious and tasty for dinner. Whatever you're doing, we love you.
I love no one.
We know. You're still searching for your soul. Will you quit wagging your tail?
Don't talk about my tail.
Crazy dog. Knock, knock. What is that?
Galoopi's
tail. Let's continue along with what your identity is not. Right now, we're talking about people not being your identity. You don't just see guys making girls their purpose in life. People will do this in all kind of unhealthy dynamics. If you're a chick and you're with a dude and he's on the wrong stuff, well, now you're in an unhealthy scenario and dynamic yourself.
Friends can be the same way.
This is what we referenced last episode about a chick being mentally mature. She has healthy people and relationships in her life. And now as a woman being unavailable, that means being unavailable to the unhealthy relationships in your life. They did an experiment. I don't remember who it was. I don't remember the reference, but they took DNA and they put it in 3 different mediums. They put one in bone material, they put one in muscle material, and they put one in cartilage material. The DNA grew into the medium they put it in. Now this demonstrates scientifically that DNA will grow into the environment it is put in.
So if I put myself into money, I'll turn into money.
Yes. If you lay in a pile of money, you will become money.
Sweet.
If you lay in a pile of sandwiches, you will become a sandwich.
Oh my goodness.
I'm on my way to Popeyes right now.
He's gonna get it biscuits.
Are you going to turn into a chicken biscuit?
Hold up. I bet you I could eat 4 Popeyes biscuits with no drink.
I bet you I could eat
I'll
5.
bet neither one of y'all are making it past 2. There's no way. I'll bet money on that. Both of y'all are gonna die,
You
and
want
it's gonna be the
bet? You
JJ
want
Rod
bet?
show. There's gonna be nobody left to love me
And
because
you're
y'all are
gonna
gonna be
be-
dead
and
from
you're gonna be
Popeye's biscuits. What we understand is that DNA can be changed by the environment. When you get into some things, we're gonna get a little deeper into this. DNA is synthesized based on your hope. Now, what is a hope? When you have a desire, when you have something you focus your mind on, and you add a strong emotion to that, like belief, now it fixes in your mind as a hope and it plants it in your subconscious. And it physically writes your DNA into what that is. This is how you become the environment. Now, I'm just referencing this. We're not going to get too deep into this. I know that's kind of a deep thought. I'm just putting it out there. Now, the critical thing to understand about people and identity is if it's the wrong people, get rid of them. This is another one of those controversial things I'm going to say. If you're married and it's not to the right partner, get a divorce. If the people in your family are unhealthy to you, get them out of your life. It's not like pushing delete on social media. This means you got to quit hanging out with them. We already gave you this cheat code. Be around the right people. Stay away from the wrong people. That means family. That means friends. That means if you're living with a person or you're married to a person that's the wrong person, leave and never look back. We'll get into some of this when we get into the rules of dating
bye, Oni.
relationship.
That's where I was going with that.
Both of y'all. Get rid of any unhealthy people in your life because, as you understand from the experiment with DNA being influenced by the environment, if you're around the wrong people, it's literally going to influence your DNA and your identity into the unhealthy thing.
Suicide.
Like suicide. Yes.
That's marriage, though.
Same thing.
But you're telling people to get a divorce.
Yes. And I know it sounds counterintuitive to say get a divorce, but if you're with the wrong person, you're never going to have the right identity and you're never going to find the fulfillment that you're looking for. Get rid of the wrong person, bro. It's okay. The same way you signed a little marriage certificate, you could sign a little divorce paper. You could quit going around the unhealthy people in your family. There is
And then
no...
she takes all your money, and then it takes your house, and then takes your cars.
Let
and
her
you're
have it.
screwed.
You know what she can't take from you?
Your identity. What,
that
your
wasn't
sandwich?
What I was gonna say, but
What
I
were
was
you
gonna
gonna
say I was gonna say my joy, which is my
Popeyes
sandwich. But
biscuits.
Biscuits and sandwiches. That's
she
your
can't
joy.
take half my sandwich because I already ate it.
That's your joy.
And she definitely can't take Eduardo.
There's no law in the universe that says you have to be around the wrong people. There's
But
no
there is,
law.
man.
What's the law?
People should love me for me.
Oh, y'all
Oh.
back on that? Eating
We're back.
Cheetos on the couch?
Back just be yourself.
Yeah, just be yourself. I mean, you can if you want, but you're going to stay miserable. And religion will try to browbeat you into believing that you have to stay in an unhealthy relationship. You have to stay with this person because you got married and what. Look, we've already debunked the whole marriage thing. If you never knew who you were in the first place, and we'll get to this later, then you never made a real covenant.
How can you share your life with somebody if you don't even know what your life is?
There ain't no identity. If you don't know what your purpose is, you're not sharing anything with anybody. If you don't know who you are, you're not sharing that identity with them.
There ain't no barrel.
It's all just an unhealthy, unhappy situation that continues to take from you until you remove yourself from that situation. Typically, you see it in a romantic type relationship. You are so determined to see a yield, something positive come from that relationship because you've invested so much of yourself, so much of your time and your energy that you've lost yourself in that relationship. This is called yield attachment. When you are so invested in someone or a relationship that you're not willing to walk away, that's yield attachment. Being willing to walk away from the wrong thing is an incredibly powerful thing. This is a form of self-control. I'm not going to control anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but if you become unhealthy in my life, I'm going to say, hey, I respect your choices. You do whatever it is you want to do. I'm out. There's nothing in the universe that holds me here or forces me to be in this. Period.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Beep, beep. That was a big jab.
Are you a vampire?
That was a jab in the cajon.
I am a jab. I'm not a jab.
You're a Jabberwa? A Jabba the Hutt? Jabberwocky.
That is not
That is not your identity. Unless you're Eduardo the Fighting Chicken. And then it's just scary what you're capable of. I just feel him like staring at me with hate in his eyes as he chews through Popeye's biscuits. Like swallowing whole pieces, not even like flinching, bro. All right, you know what else your identity is not is trauma.
Whoa, I can speak on this one. Just because you had a bad hand dealt to you doesn't make it a cop-out to be waste of space. And I hate to say it that way, but that's what most people use trauma for, is to just exist. You have to change who you are. I came from Todd's trash can. And I was trash.
A lot of people have that.
With the souls of demons.
Oh, Lord, not the souls of demons.
I mean, that's one way of healing.
That's what happens is people get trapped in this emotional cycle. You're inevitably creating Pavlov syndrome with yourself. That's the experiment where they rang the bell and got the dog to salivate because he believed every time the bell rang, he was going to get food or a treat. People do the same thing with trauma. They recycle the emotions and they create this feedback loop. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this in the book Becoming Supernatural and some of his other works. And Eckhart Tolle talks about this in The Power of Now. It's a feedback loop. The emotions generate the thoughts generate the emotions, and it goes back and forth. And this is where people will create this feedback loop with their trauma and they embody it as an identity. They start believing that's who they are. If you're not on Dr. Joe Dispenza, get on Dr. Joe Dispenza. We're not going to get deep into how to get past your trauma. We're going to hit a couple highlights. Get on Dr. Joe Dispenza.
I'm going to tell you the main thing that helped me. I got past my blocks because I decided I wanted to be somebody different. And there's two ways you go. You can either go with your environment or you can change your environment. Like you said, DNA can warp to the environment. Well, you got to change the environment, bro.
Get in a healthy environment. Be around the right people. Avoid the wrong people. That's the cheat code.
And that's where you get an instance where you grab hold of that one healthy thing.
If one healthy thing's all you got, man, grab a hold of it and go. And it'll
open up more healthy things.
Yes, because it creates the feedback loop and the positive side.
Come from the Matrix, and he'll save you.
That's how you get free. As Neo shows up and he gives you the pill, or is the pill how you prevent babies? Wait.
Honey ham on rye, turkey on white.
I'm gonna punch you, Todd. You and your sandwich.
Eating as many Popeye's biscuits, no drink.
Why are you profiling me right now?
And how does that make you feel, Oni?
I'm bigger than you. I can push you down. Look here, you bum.
I just felt the racism oozing through the freaking headset. You're like, why are you profiling me over some Popeye's biscuits?
Yeah, that sounds awful familiar.
They don't want to listen to me, bro.
What you mean?
Don't bring a knife to a sword fight. That's all I can tell you, nephew.
Bad Oni. But where a lot of people get stuck is they make unhealthy choices because they don't have any integrity for whatever reason. They get on this negative feedback loop with the trauma they've experienced. And there's two kinds of trauma. There's trauma that comes from someone or something external, like something happening to you, or there's trauma you cause yourself. Either someone else did something to you or something happened to you to make you feel worse. worth less, or you did something to yourself to make yourself feel worth less. This is where addiction comes into place and it gets so powerful, because remember what we were talking about, desperation. The more you feed the negative, the more desperate you become. You get stuck on the unhealthy choices, and that's what real addiction is. And that's when you need a helping hand, and you need somebody that's proficient, that's positive and healthy to reach in and help pull you out.
I have something to help me. It's called alcohol.
Or it's drugs, or it's sexual promiscuity, or it's pornography, or whatever unhealthy thing you want to pick that's feeding the negative because you get desperate. That's what addiction really is reaching a point of desperation that you can't come back from, that you can't get out of on your own. In the religious world, they talk about it as spiritual bondage. There's a lot of different ways people explain it, but it's all the same thing. You get to a point of desperation where you feel like feeding the unhealthy is the only thing you can do. You feel worthless, and so you don't feel like there's anything healthy out there for you. You don't even feel like you're worth it. Well, how do you get past that? Get around the right people, avoid the wrong people. You have to change the environment.
What was that
I
accent?
can't leave all these people. I've known them my whole life.
It doesn't matter. You gotta get away. They're poisoning you. They're cancer to you.
They're contagious cancer.
Jay, they're family.
I don't care who they are. I don't care if you're married to them. I don't care if they're family. I don't care if it's your own mama. You need to get yourself healthy first. Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
You cannot help anybody, and you cannot do anything good from an unhealthy place. You got to get yourself healthy first. If everybody's drowning, you got to save yourself, and then you could work on saving other people out of the water.
It's a lot of relationships too, I've noticed. Like even me back in the day, before I could even get myself right, I would try my hardest to help all these chicks that I would be getting with that had problems. I would find something to try to work on instead of working on myself.
Yes.
I was focused on trying to help them. And they would just fire the gun at me. And then I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because I was too focused on making them my identity and helping them.
It's this entire savior complex. If I'm harder off myself, you can be great and so wonderful. And then whenever you leave me, I'm going to be sad.
Follow my sword.
The whole white knight identity, bro. That's like a schema or an archetype. And that's why it's wrong, because you are putting someone else on a pedestal. You're making them your purpose instead of making your purpose and pursuing it from a healthy place. Understanding trauma, I want you to think about something. One of the biggest obstacles to getting through trauma is forgiveness. Most people blame themselves for their trauma, whether they caused it or whether somebody else caused it. Forgiveness is one of the key elements to working through and getting past trauma, to
And
be
hate.
able to let go.
And
of it.
hate.
No, not hate.
Hate's a big one too.
Spite and malice.
Or you mean to get past hate? I hate you.
Get past hate. Get past hate.
So forgiveness is key to get past trauma and hate and all the blame and all the guilt and all the shame. And I want you to think about something critical. You cannot forgive yourself until you have forgiven others. And often it is easier to forgive others than it is to forgive yourself. The big obstacle people run into is forgiving themselves.
You know my story. We've been brothers for a long time. I had to do a lot of forgiving, and it sucked. It hurt. But in the end, it made me better.
Forgiveness is for you, not everybody else. Most people think hate is the opposite of love, but the opposite of love is indifference. Hate is really anger that you're holding on to, and it's either anger with yourself or anger with someone else. It's this big grudge that you're holding on to. That's what hate really is. The way to let go of it is forgiveness. And that's tough. And we'll get into some of that when we get into surrender, when we talk about pride. We brought this up before. Trauma is stored in the neurons of your heart. When you hit the checklist and you achieve solitary sufficiency or purity, and you unlock self-control, the next place that you come to is what's in your heart. And your energy field is projected from there. If you've got a trauma stored there, you cannot project proficiently, positively. It's going to be like a block, like Oni was talking about.
Wow.
So when you learn to surrender and you get past that, then you could get to where you could work on that trauma. And you would think it would be the other way around. You would think, I need to get rid of the trauma so I can work on the other things. But when you unlock self-control, it gives you the ability to work on your trauma and move past it. Until you get past your trauma, you're never going to be proficient. And you cannot get past your trauma until you have unlocked self-control. Self-control helps you navigate trauma and forgiveness.
I wish I'd have knew this 11 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. All of us, bro. All of us. Here's what's critical, folks. If you work on being a mature chick, you figure out who you are as a woman, what you like and what you dislike, what your talents and gifts are in life. That's a big chunk of your identity as a woman. When you find your purpose as a man and you find your identity in that, when you get your identity the right way, it cannot be taken from you. We brought this up in the first half when we talked about self-control. It solidifies that identity. That means the circumstances aren't going to dictate who you are.
Circumstances become circumstantial.
That is correct, Todd. All right, guys, look, this has been a lot of awesome stuff about what identity is not. We still got a jam-packed episode coming for part 3 of identity. It's just so much. Identity is so critical. We don't want to leave any out. Identity is like the hinge pin of everything. It's like the cornerstone. If you don't know who you are, who are you?
Whoa! I think we just made a breakthrough.
I got so many sayings.
Pew, pew. I got hit with the Confucius Ray. Watch out.
Yeah, I noticed.
We love you guys. You're amazing.
You're so beautiful.
I'm beautiful.
Only's beautiful.
You lie.
You should see me in a Speedo.
Like in 1972?
No.
If your eyes cause you to sin, gouge them out. Only in a Speedo. Ah! All right, guys, look, we got more great stuff coming up. Make sure you tune in. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned for Swan Tales. Oni, take them to Swan Tales.
Pew, pew.
Worth it, so I keep pushing through the pain, yeah. That's the only way to make a change, yeah. I've had enough, I'm making my own luck. Adrenaline, my drug, I'm sick of feeling stuck. I got this, will not quit to the top, I promise. 'Cause I've had enough.
From the story vaults of creation, directly to you, Swans. Swan Tales! Swan Tales! Story time!
Swan Tales!
Story time. Roar!
Today's tale, Swans, the continuation of Treasure Trove del Corazon. Today's story follows characters of local historical relevance. It's based on a true story, but some names, places, and events may have been changed and adapted to our tale. So we go back to our character, Catherine, at Castle Le Bleu. Today she's going for a ride with her brothers. They're going on a pheasant hunt. So she's making her way to the stables. And who does she come across? Simon the stable boy.
Miss Catherine, how are you? You look beautiful today.
Well, thanks, Simon. It's not like I did anything with myself. I'm going to ride a horse.
Let me saddle your horse, Miss Catherine.
Okay, thank you, Simon.
Anything for you, Miss Catherine.
Okay, Simon. See you later. Wow, what a weirdo.
Catherine, are you ready to go?
Yeah, brother. I'm so glad we're going today. We hadn't been out riding and hunting in a while. I just love getting out with you guys. It's such a nice break to get away from all the hustle and bustle of the castle.
Couldn't agree more. You're obviously a better shot than I.
Of course I am. You boys are losers. If I weren't here, y'all wouldn't kill anything.
You're probably not wrong, Catherine.
Miss Catherine, I got your horse right here.
What the hell, man?
This is real. This is real life.
I know. That's what makes it so bad. It's like you can't even argue with it. I know people like that. I've seen it.
Miss Catherine, you need help getting on your horse?
No, Simon, I got it. I'm quite capable. I'm a very capable woman. I take care of myself every day. Thank you.
Let me get on my hands and knees and you can step on my back.
No.
Yeah, down under.
No.
Richard, Eugene, are you brothers ready to go? Let's get out of here. I need some fresh air. This place is just too suffocating.
Miss Catherine.
All right, Catherine, let's go. What a little weirdo.
I know he means well, but
So Catherine and her brothers ride to the countryside. She's been hunting with her brothers. Catherine's been riding since she was young. She has excellent horse riding skills. She has great relationships with her brothers, treating her like the quality young lady that she is. So she's not worried about Simon the stable boy. Like, she's not worried about any of those guys. She's solid. Her dad's good.
He's peeping in the bushes. He's waiting on her to kill something.
Miss Catherine, I'll drag it back.
Oh, God. So they go riding on the countryside. They come across a few pheasants. Catherine shoots a pheasant. The dogs run and retrieve it. All right, brother, your turn. He shoots and he misses. Oh, typical. Catherine's always besting her brothers. They always have friendly competitions. They're competitive in the best of spirits because that's what families do. They compete with each other. They have a good time. They keep each other sharp. They build each other's skills. So after a good day of hunting, they return to the castle. Catherine runs into Simon again.
Miss Catherine, let me get that horse for you.
I got a few
You want to rub
pheasants.
your feet with cocoa butter?
Oh, no.
I got a few pheasants in the saddlebag over there, Simon. I'm going to get them out, take them in, and clean them.
I'll do it for you, Miss Catherine. You're so beautiful, you shouldn't have to do that.
Richard, can you do anything with him?
Richard, I'll rub your feet with cocoa butter. Just let me touch Miss Catherine.
Oh my God.
What the hell is cocoa butter?
Oh, God. Oh, God. So now our story takes us back to the Metrocity Museum with Jean Lafitte.
Wait.
It's closing time. He notices a gentleman over at the exhibit. Well, hello, sir. Good to see you today. I know you're enjoying the exhibits, but we're about to be closing. I was just letting you know we're going to wrap it up.
See, sir, how are you doing today? I just love these exhibits. They're extravagant.
That's why I love working here. I just get to learn all kind of cool stuff about all these different places and items from all over the world. It's so awesome. I love it.
It just makes me think of all the adventure and the high seas. I would like to go treasure hunting one day.
Oh, yeah, that would be awesome. By the way, I'm Jean Lafitte.
I am Fernando Rodriguez, the spicy man.
The spicy man. What? It's nice to meet you, Fernando. Maybe I'll see you around. So Jean Lafitte and Fernando start talking more and more as Fernando comes around the exhibits. You know, he comes around closing time and they're able to talk. They start becoming best friends. It's like they were meant to meet each other, like kindred spirits or something. They just get along, they harmonize, everything just clicks and falls into place. They start talking about all the different exhibits and all the adventures they could have in the future if they were to go searching for this stuff themselves. It ignites passion in them. They start coming up with a plan. They think, man, you know, we could do some kind of business where we find these treasures and trinkets ourselves. Maybe we can go around the world with it or something. We could share it with people. That would be awesome. So one day, Jean Lafitte's working after hours and Curator comes up and he says, hey, Pierre, what's going on? How are you today?
Nothing much. I'm just real busy setting up the new exhibit.
Oh, yeah? New exhibit? What we got going on, Pierre?
It's a legend you're going to love. Treasure Trove del Corazon.
Oh, that sounds interesting. What they got going on with that? We got any stuff in on it yet? I can't wait.
It's all in the back. I got to set it up in the morning.
Jean Lafitte can't wait to tell Fernando about this. This is going to be so good.
It's getting late. I got to go. I'm real proud of you, man. You keep up the good work.
Thanks, Pierre. I'll see you later. Jean Lafitte starts thinking. He's cleaning the floor. He's like, man, I can't wait. I got to go back there and see what it is. So he goes in the back and he sees all the crates labeled Treasure Trove del Corazon. He grabs a bar, he pries one open, and as he peers inside the box, he immediately sees something he knows is going to help him on his journey. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. And now our story takes us back to Castle Le Bleu.
Wait.
Catherine spent a little time with the chef prepping the pheasants, and she got to talk to him, enjoying wonderful stories and tales of places that she looks forward to going to in the future. Catherine's having supper with her brothers and her mom and dad. They're eating some of the pheasant they killed earlier that day. Her parents immediately pipe up the conversation, trying to tell her about planning for a future and thinking about finding a husband.
Catherine, man, dude,
Yes,
you gotta
Dad.
meet this fine young gentleman from down the bayou.
Oh, Dad, I guess. It's always so many guys around. I've thought about it, but, I'm just interested in getting out and seeing the world. I don't know if I'm ready to meet a guy yet. I don't know. There's so many of them. Can't I just stay here and do what I do?
Look here.
I can't take you seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So Mom Marie pipes in.
Oh, he's such a wonderful guy, Catherine. He's a top gentleman of local prominence. You're gonna love him.
He's such a strapping young man.
We're gonna have a dinner party in a few weeks, and you can meet him and you can get to know him a little bit. I just know you're gonna love him, honey. Richard, Eugene, what do you guys think?
We hear a lot of good things about him, but ultimately it should be up to you, Catherine.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I want to get out. I got things I want to see in the world before I settle down. I don't know if I'm ready for all that. Eugene, what do you think?
Well, I think she should do what she wants to do. If he's got money, get it, honey.
Oh, God.
I don't know, Eugene. I don't even care about money. Money's cool and all, but I'd be perfectly happy just in a cottage on the countryside. We go places and we see stuff. I don't want to be cooped up my whole life. I don't know. I'm going to have to think about
You
it.
sound like a peasant, sister.
Like a peasant.
Catherine, he is the top gentleman of prominence in this bayou. He's a great sword fighter. That's all I want to hear about it.
Oh, but Dad, I don't want my whole life decided for me.
Silence, wench!
You're so quick to that.
Couillon, you do what we tell you to do.
You can't call her Couillon. Mama Marie pipes in.
Oh, now, Blaze, give her a little break, honey. It's a lot to figure out. It's not that easy being the fairest maiden in the land and all these suitors always being after you. Yeah, Mom.
Silence, wench!
Blaze is a hater. He's such a hater. Blaze hates women.
Silence, peasant.
Catherine, why don't you go get ready for bed, honey? Thanks for the pheasant. I know if you hadn't went, your stupid brothers wouldn't have got us nothing for dinner.
Mom.
So quiet down, Richard.
Couillon.
You're a terrible shot.
Couillon! You should have.
Oh, Couillon.
All of my children are Guyans.
So Catherine leaves supper. She has her head held down. She's thinking to herself, man, I just know in my heart there's more in life than this for me. This can't be it. Dum-dum-dum. Tune in next time, Swans.
See you in there.
Shut up, Simon.
I like your cocoa butter.
Blaze the King is legit. The dad everybody hopes for. Tune in next time, Swans, for the continuation of Treasure Trove del Corazon. We love you. Have an amazing day. Tune in next episode to part 3 of Identity and the continuation of this awesome swan tale.
Couillon!
The swans are not couillons. No, don't say that. We love you, swans. Au revoir. See you later.
Au revoir, swans.
Bye.